Welcome to another episode of Choppin' It Up Raw. I am your host, Abdul the Barber, and this is a special Detroit edition episode. I got a good friend of mine with me, man, Mike, also known as
Nascarr.
What's going on, G?
Everything slow motion, man.
Yeah.
How about yourself?
It's been a little minute, man.
It has been a long time.
Man, well, first and foremost, man, I appreciate you coming through, bro. I mean, it's always a pleasure having you, G.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Today I brought you on the episode, man. We just gonna talk about Detroit, man, and what it means. What does Detroit mean to you, and how do you incorporate that in your life? You know, being way out here in Japan, like, talk to me about that.
I think everybody, no matter where you're from, you always find home more. Well, you appreciate home way more when you're away from it. And I just had a conversation with one of my boys today. We were sitting there going back and forth about just how much, you know, just the hometown means to you, just in general. And it's like you have a sense of pride about it,
Right?
And
that's
just everything, just how you move. Like we were talking about Motown, for example,
Right?
And I was telling him I did not visit the Motown Museum until I came over here to Japan for a few years, and I'm like, you know, especially me doing music, everybody knows Motown. It's just a staple, you know, around the world. But to not visit there, it was like, dang, I gotta go back over there. I gotta go see, you know, what was going on. You know, you see all the little small details from like the little candy machine Stevie Wonder used to be in. They got Michael Jackson's glove in there. That garage in there is crazy. You know, show the same mics and stuff that they was recording off of, hanging in there and everything. And it was just like, I'm glad I did come, you know, see all this stuff. But yeah, hometown means a lot more to you when you're gone. Big time.
Okay. That's dope, man. I think now that you really mentioned that, I think about, you know, walking down Beale Street or going to the pyramid and seeing all these different sites around Memphis, right? You see that, and I think about it like, damn, I never went there, bro. And I lived in
Bro, I don't know why. I can't give you an answer why we don't appreciate it like that. Because even for, like, for example, with the Motown Museum, it's pretty much, it's in the hood.
Right.
And it's just right there, you know. It's over there by Northwestern. You pass it up all the time. But when you start watching those documentaries and stuff, you're like, dang, so they were staying over here and this is what Berry Gordy was? And it's just mind-blowing.
Yo, that's
mind-blowing completely.
That's wild. So, you out here in Japan, and now, you know, you were prior military, right?
Correct.
So,
shout out to the ABEs.
So, in your transition, right, tell me about how music and producing, how you got into that and it, you know, got you where you are now.
I got into producing initially. It was one of my boys, G. He brought me. He kept teasing me. Was like, "Hey man, you trying to get on that Fruity Loops?"
Fruity Loops. Everybody remember that shit.
I was like, Fruity Loops. I just kept thinking of cereal. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
They keep saying Fruity Loops, but he wouldn't tell me. He'd just like, "You trying to get on that Fruity Loops?
Yeah.
You trying to get on that Fruity Loops?" I'm like, what are you talking about, man? Like, but anyway. He brought it to me on a floppy disk. I think it was like 3 or 4. And then I looked at it, I was like, oh, wait a minute. You can make music with this? I will never forget it. I think probably like 13. I wasn't in high school yet when he showed it to me. I went to Oak Park, and around that time it was like Mike Jones was booming. So I didn't know how to create a full track. I would sit there with my grandmother's camcorder and I'd like make a little 4-bar loop and the beat just keep looping right there. And I had it on the camcorder and I bring it back like, can y'all hear this? Yeah, it's hard, ain't it? Yeah. And I used to sit there and call Mike Jones every day. I was on punishment.
You remember that number? Oh shit. Something
281-330-8004.
I don't think nobody would ever forget that shit, bro.
No, man, I was crazy marking. He was way ahead of time.
Bro, that shit was. You know, I never called that shit. What was on that? What if you call it like?
If you call, his voicemail would come up.
Oh, okay.
But if you was lucky, you know, he'd answer. But I think, don't quote me, but I think I remember reading something about Sprint. He had like a crazy bill for that.
Oh, really?
Or something. Cause I think we were still making phone calls after 9 o'clock. You,
Yeah, don't call me. Hey, my
I'll call you
daytime
back at
minutes,
9.
bro.
Like, it was
Shit.
real quick, like real
Yeah.
quick conversations. But yeah, I started with that, and then for years I didn't like have no equipment, and I decided to take music serious. What was it? I was 21 for my 21st birthday, and I was working at OnStar, and I was getting my little check. I think I was getting like 400, something like that a week. And I'm like, man, I'm about to get this beat machine. I'm like, tell all my friends, like, once I get this beat machine, this is like putting a basketball in Kobe's hand for the first time. This is how big it's gonna be. I put a lot of pressure on myself. I'm like, I'm doing this, like, for real. And yeah, I'll never forget, I lost weight. I went to Costco, grabbed a 30-pack of ramen noodles, and I ate noodles that whole month until I can afford that beat machine.
Damn.
And then
he was dedicated for sure.
Man, once I got it, the real work began. Cause I was like, oh man, I don't know nothing about sequencing. I don't know how to put a beat together. I don't know how to do any of this. So it took me probably about a year and a half, 2 years just to figure out how to make something. And I just kept touching buttons, just learning, because it wasn't like a lot of programs on YouTube, because Machine was still kind of new.
Right.
That's what I used, the Native Instrument Machine. And yeah, I eventually got it, but it took a while. And I remember being at work. I don't remember how much weight I lost, but I remember all the girls was at the job like, hey, you look like you lost some weight. Because I was eating noodles the whole month trying to get that beat machine.
Trying to get that beat machine.
I got it though.
Yeah. You know what it remind me, man, of I don't know if you've ever seen the Wu-Tang Saga.
Yes.
When Buddy was trying to buy the beat machine, but he didn't have no money for it, you know what I mean? And he ended up, he tried to steal it, but old Buddy was like, hey, I ain't gonna call the police if you put it back.
Yeah.
You know, but he ended up getting it, but I think, you know, monetary this whole time, but it's like when he got that joint, because he was trying to loop, but it's hard to do that on turntables, right?
Yeah.
And the machine had that already built into it. But seeing that beat machine, and I used to go to like music stores and play around on them and like, oh, this is dope, man, you know what I mean? And I've always been fascinated with like the Fruity Loops, right? I had it on my computer, and I never did anything serious. I was just, you know, on there wasting time. We had a Dell back then or some crazy old computer, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's always been a thing that I thought was super dope with producing and how they mix and push it into, you know. And as of recently, I just realized a lot of songs from now are just samples. But it's crazy. I follow this page on IG. It's crazy how artists like Nas and Kanye and how they sample stuff from it just be a little smidget of something, and they might stretch it out, they might slow it down, drop the pitch or whatever they might do, but then you got a hit on your hands, and it's like, man, these guys are geniuses, bro.
And that's where
Jay Dilla.
I was just about to say that's where Dilla comes in, because even for me, that's another thing. Like, I did not appreciate Dilla until as of recent years.
Right.
I've listened to these albums and I was like, I'm just not seeing it. Mainly because of the genre, like, cause I was making more trap beats and stuff.
Right.
But when I stepped over to the hip hop side, and I argue, you know, amongst the producer community about, you know, what's more difficult and all that stuff like that. And it's like, to me, hip hop is like, you know, it's like, what's that analogy? They say it's like, simple like a free throw. Like, it's just, it don't have too much going on, but it's just so many small details that make a huge difference. Like, one of my favorite Dilla tracks that he produces, The Climax for Slum Village.
Right.
I don't know what it is about that bass line, but it's just so smooth, just boom, boom, boom. And that's just it. Just throughout the whole beat, boom, boom, boom. You can sit there as a producer and try to make stuff, and it's like, how did he just hear that and just take that part out of it and just say, you know what, right here, we're just gonna go, And that's just it. And timeless music, timeless.
That's super intriguing, bro. I think, and that's why I respect it so much, because it's, the simplicity of it, right? A lot of times back then, they were just in their basement or in their room, dorm room, or wherever, and all these different things going on around them, but they locked into this one particular thing, and that's what made them to what they are now, right?
Yeah, most definitely.
I think that's a pretty good thing. So with producing, man, how does that, how do you use that to say if you like in a place where you're down, or you might have I guess, I don't even know, since a writer's block, so to speak, in the beat realm.
They call it producer's block, same realm.
Right. So how do you get over that, or how do you, move past those?
It's different for everybody, and I don't want to say that it doesn't exist, but on one side of me, because I never really experienced that, but I think one of the big things that separates those two is the amount of resources. So for me, when I was making trap beats early on, you got these drum kits and these snares and stuff. So as far as the amount of drum kits and stuff that you have, I mean, if you got trap drums, you're not about to make no Jay Dilla beat. So it's a limited amount of resources.
Right.
But if you go, sample digging, you get more samples. You get more drum kits, you got more, drums to pick from. So it took years of me building my collection, because I consider myself a collector of sounds.
Right.
To be able to be as versatile.
Right.
So even now, at 32, I'm like, man, now I feel like I'm really starting to produce, because I'm able to go do some hip hop stuff today, then I can go and make some trap stuff over here. Then, I can get real experimental and just do some off the wall crazy stuff. But I really believe it comes down to that as far as producers.
Right.
With artists, I can't speak on that. I can't rap even if I wanted to. But I can't think of a rhyme. They were like, why don't you rap? I don't know what to say. But for them, I think, just like BJ was talking about.
Right.
It comes down to your experiences. That's like key. Like if you just sit in one place most of the time, you don't really have too much to talk about. Even as far as like regular conversation. Like
right.
I'm sure you talk to people back at home that, don't
like,
have no motion going on.
It's like, what the hell are you talking about?
And it's
bro?
like,
it's a world out there.
Yeah, they talk about the same things, over and over, but it's just, a limited amount of experiences and opportunities as well.
Right. So the other day, man, I had tagged you in that post, right? Yes. And I was like, yo, what is that, bro?
I'm still.
And you had already seen that video, and I was like, damn, bro, that shit was, it was that little small beat machine. You have that, right?
Yeah,
you have that. It was pocket size.
Yeah.
But then it had the turntable, but the turntable had it was like a transistor on it too, right?
I'm still trying to figure out what that is. I sent it over to my boy Chase. I'm like, what is that?
Right.
What
that
is
little
this
joint
thing?
was
It has
crazy.
some little buttons on there. I don't know how it works. I'm doing my research.
Right. Yeah, that joint was that shit was mad because, for the simple fact, all that shit is compact and you can make. I wouldn't be surprised if you get an artist or anybody that's in that realm and they put something together and they got a hit. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And that shit is it's crazy, man.
Yeah,
it's
technology is I don't know. I always feel like even in today's time, it's always gonna get better as far as technology, as far as the convenience of all of us. But it just keep getting easier. It just keep getting easier.
Right.
And, I see the old guys always down in it, but it's a great opportunity for the future. That's how you should do it. You should create opportunities for everybody to be able to make things easier.
Right.
Everything don't have to be as hard.
Right.
Kind of like the analogy I always say, like some people can touch the stove.
Right.
And they get their hand burnt and they like, oh, but some people don't have to touch the stove.
Right.
You like,
they know it's like
that hurt.
That shit hot.
You can feel the heat from back here. I don't need to touch it.
Right. Oh man. But I don't mean to cut you off, but I gotta pay some bills here. Shout out to Pro Shield. Pro Shield is your #1 shade glaze goddamn in the world. I say it like that. I put it like that. It's packed full of like different vitamins and essential oil and the whole nine, man. But man, check that out, bro. All you need is a little bit. Good for your hair, skin, whatever, man. But it'll get you right, man. So yeah, check out that Pro Shield, man, for sure. Yeah, I use it every day, man. Every day.
Unfortunately, you know, I don't have any hair.
Hey, you still can go.
I ain't got it
bro.
up here, but it's going down here. I'm gonna have to put some of this on there a little bit.
Yeah, man, for sure. Definitely appreciate it. But yeah, bro. So with beat making, right? Can you walk us through you ain't gotta go in depth, but walk us through your process of life. How you set up or when you get ready to make a beat or
Yeah, for me, my process is I pretty much just go whenever I feel like it. Like it's not really a whether I feel motivated or not type thing or get in the mood for it. As of now, because I'm in school and stuff, I haven't been making it my main priority, but I will be off this summer and I will be going back to my normal self.
Yes,
but
sir.
it's normally just me and a bottle of water. That's like my essentials. I always got a bottle of water next to me and I just turn it on, you know, whether I'm going through samples or whatever.
Right.
For me, I don't really know what I'm going to create. I hear a lot of producers, you know, they's like, I got this beat in my head, man, had the sound in my head, then I laid it out.
Right.
But I never had that. I never had like, you know, a thought process. I pretty much approach it just blank. And then whatever comes out, comes out. And for me, most of the beats, I don't like most of them. I probably make about 6, 7 of them. I'm like, nope, that's it. I'm going over to Call of Duty. That's it.
You've been killing that shit. I be watching you on there, and I have to get away from it, bro.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. You know it's a problem. I'm a prestige 10 on there, man. I am a sweat. It's a problem, man. But yeah, back to the music though.
Yeah.
When I'm sitting there, I just create based off of, you know, certain sounds. So I've been using a lot of loops lately. And the loops is like, it's like the Wild Wild West.
Right.
So for me, I'm one of those type of people that work smarter, not harder. So you got some guys that they create these loop packs, and I don't know, you know what a loop pack is?
Explain.
Okay, just break it down. A loop pack is like, you know, it might be 4, 5, maybe 10 tracks that are just the instrumentals.
Okay.
So essentially, people will take these loops and they post them on their websites, and they be like, hey, you know, you can grab 10 of these loops that I made for $20.
Okay.
Right. So you got $20, you pay them $20, and it's normally royalty free. Okay. Royalty free means you can use it, you can go, you can go run it up, but if you start getting to a level like this, then you gotta make a call. You gotta be like, hey, I got this placement with this artist. Oh. So now you gotta go contact them. But as long as you stay, you know, low, you get a couple thousand views, nobody got no problem. But when you start making some noise, people want to get paid. That's pretty much how they run it.
So if I buy a loop pack from you and I make, you know, it start going up, then I gotta call you like, hey, I owe you more.
Well, depending, because it could go any way. You can negotiate terms on any level. Normally it would be a percentage. So right now, a lot of the loop makers, they charge 20 to 30% off of a beat. So say for example, you make loops, right? And I do the drums on it. Boom, you make the loop. And let's just say you didn't even buy a pack, you just send it to me. Because that's like the game now. It's like, I'm gonna give you these free loops.
Right.
And then you go make all the networking and you go find all the people. And then I go take it, do my thing. And then if it got placed by, you know, a high selling artist or whatever like that, then you will get 20% of the record. Wow. And then I'll split that. But normally the artists get their 50, and then the producers, they, you know, figure out what that is. Right. But one of the problems right now, there be about 5, 6 people on these loops. Oh. And that's the younger generation.
Right.
they be running it up. So say for example, it's me, you, and 2 of my other homeboys. Right. And I'm not saying this is the exact situation, but I can see them doing that. It could be like You didn't even do nothing on the beat.
Right.
I make the beat, and I'm like, yo, I just got a placement with blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Like, I don't know, Justin Bieber or something. I got Justin Bieber on here. And I'm like, you did it. But who's to say that you actually
did anything?
Did anything?
Could have been in the back smoking a blunt.
Or you could have just did the hi-hats and just said,
That's it.
Technically, you get a percentage because you contributed to that track.
Yeah. Wow.
So, you know, it could go either way. And then that's where the business side start getting real messy. And you got all of these guys that's saying this. And then you might be like, hey, my going rate is 500 a beat. Justin Bieber can't drop that because I did them hi-hats. I need 500.
Yeah.
And he can mess the whole thing up. So just imagine you going between all these third parties and managers get involved, and you got one dude that'll mess the whole pot up. So I always took pride.
Church's money.
Yeah. I always took pride early on. Like, I was like, I don't want to mess with these loop guys. I just want to do everything myself. But then I started thinking, I'm like, I can sit up here and make 20 beats a day working with these dudes. And I don't mind splitting, you know, 20%, 50%, whatever. I don't mind it at all. So I'm 50-50, but I say all that to say, I'm getting back to making my own melodies right now.
Already, man. I like to hear
Give back to it. But another reason is because it's kind of like sound is getting really saturated. And it's not like, it's not, well, I should say this, it's saturated in the, what's the name of it? In the main industry, the big industry, whatever, mainstream music. So for me right now, that's what I started to doing more hip hop. Right. I'm like, I like this.
Like
the
hip hop boom bap type deal, right?
I like the community better too. That's other reasons though, but I like that community over there. And I feel like even with the trap stuff, it's for, you know, the younger guys, to me.
Yeah.
And I don't mind, you know, letting them do their thing. But ultimately, for me, just doing music, I'm just having fun with it, man.
You're doing a hell of a job, man. I be checking out your stuff, bro, and on your site, you got a shit ton of stuff, bro.
I got like 22, 23 albums out right now.
Damn. Yeah. So with that you have, right? So I'm an artist, right? And I'm looking for music, and I'm going there and buy that from you. I own that, or is that the same as the loop thing, or that's something different?
It's a little bit different. So normally the process would be, you know, if you did want to purchase music from me, you will own that record, but at the same time you own the exclusivity of the record. Depending if you got an exclusive license or if you got like a regular basic lease.
Right.
So they got different types. Some people sell different leases. Like me, I just do leases for like a year. Okay. Which a lot of people don't really like, because it's like, I give it to the artist because I know how much money they got to spend. They got to do the videographer, got to get the videographers and everything, promo and everything like that. So I'm just like, just throw me $200 to get this contract for 1 year, go run it up for 1 year. So whatever they make off of it, you can keep it, make your money back. But on this day that you bought it, you got to get another contract.
Oh, okay.
So you can do it that way. You know, some people, they just do a lease period, like Blockbuster or whatever like that. Right. You just borrow the beat, but it can be sold 100 times. So right now, that's where you see a lot of people selling beats for $25. And it's really good music. That's the crazy part. Like, it ain't bad. You would think 25 is gonna be trash. It's some real top tier music, right? Like some really good music. And you know, of course the old heads, they don't like that, because you know, they was getting $250,000 a beat back in the day. And they like, yeah.
This Timberland beat gonna cost you.
Exactly. They getting $250,000 plus 50%. Like, but that record gonna take you somewhere else.
Somewhere, right.
Like, they, you know, the exclusivity of getting one of those. Everybody done got a Timberland or a Pharrell beat. You can't get those. So, some people, money can't even buy those, but yeah.
You just gotta know somebody that knows you, that knows him, and you know.
Yep.
Damn. But man, I appreciate you coming on today, bro.
Thank you for having me.
With that being said, you got some shout outs? Let us know shout outs or where to find your stuff at.
Okay, so yeah, Nascarr 313. That's my website. Pretty much everything is running through there. Albums, pretty much I've been doing instrumental albums. They start at $1 a piece. They take donations. Anything. If you want to give me 100, I'll take 100 too. But they start at $1. You know, also all the other stuff. If you want music for your podcast and stuff like that, or you know, your video games, you need Twitch music in the background. I sell specific packages for that as well too. As far as artists, I'm not really looking for artists like that to work with right now, but I'm always open. You know, I'm very approachable. Hit me up, whatever, whoopie whoop. As far as shout outs, my wife Lily over there at the crib with the kids, of course, first. My mom and my father been a big supporters of my music as of recently. Like, that almost made me want to cry. It hit me real big time, especially like, you know, just seeing my growth as far as just doing music for 10 plus years.
Right.
But it took me to go to the hip hop side for them to say, hey, I like that.
Right.
You know, hey, how can I share that on Facebook?
Right.
You know, stuff like that. But yeah, shout them out. My boy Cam G for putting me on Fruity Loops. Boy Justice and all of them, and Jimmy at On One out here in Tokyo.
Right.
Yeah, everybody. My boy Tech, Scooby, Cousin, everybody. Sada. Sada
baby.
Yeah, I got a record coming out with him soon. Appreciate the love. Stretch Money as well. That's another guy. I gotta put you on him.
Okay.
Too.
Yeah.
Stretch. I got a record with him coming out. Young Deji, the single Spinning. That's still going out there.
Y'all go check them out, bro.
Yeah. Everybody out there.
Yeah. I appreciate it once again, bro. And you know, you always welcome, dog.
Most definitely.
That's been another episode of Chopping It Up Raw. I'm your host, Abdul the Barber, and y'all already know the motto, Foreign Cuts Forever.